Hello, boys and girls. All right, so today excuse me, hang on. Woo. Sorry, guys. Whoa, weird. What happened? Blue, you're all like comic boogie. So am I. That's weird. Well, I guess we're stuck like this forever. So anyways, what I was saying before is I gotta sneeze again. Alright, I must be like allergic to puppies? No, not allergic to you? Okay, yeah, you're right. Well, I fixed it. Well, that's convenient. Okay, so anyways, we are going to do an artist study today. Since it is Black History Month, I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite artists, Alma Woodsey Thomas. And then we're going to do our own version of a piece of her work. So, let's get started. Yay! Alma Woodsey Thomas was born on September 22nd, 1891, and she died on February 24th, 1978. So, like I said earlier, Alma is one of my favorite artists, and in a moment you'll see why. But first, let's learn about some Alma facts. Alma attended Howard University as its first fine arts graduate in 1924. She went on to teach middle school for 35 years, and after she retired teaching middle school students, in her 70s, she began to paint in an abstract style, the style she is best known for. So, abstract. What is abstract art? Well, abstract art is art that does not attempt to represent something that is real, but instead it tries to achieve the same effect by using colors, shapes, forms, and textures. So you may look at some of her pieces and think it resembles something like maybe a landscape, which the image that I have here kind of reminds me of a landscape. You see kind of a sunset, and it runs into this mountain area. So it has taken a landscape and it's abstracting it. Let's take a look at some of her other pieces of art. So, as I mentioned before, she is one of my favorite artists. So, why is she one of my favorites? Well, I really like the simplicity of her art. I really like the movement of the lines that she uses, and I like how the space is filled with all these bright and pretty colors. So the next piece is what is going to inspire our project this week. Take a look at this pretty little thing. It has rainbow colors, which is beautiful, but if you take a look, it has these little broken lines. So we are going to take our inspiration from this piece this week, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do momentarily. So here is what you need. You will need one piece of paper, something to color with like markers or crayons or watercolors. I used watercolors, but if I were to choose between markers or crayons, I feel like markers might be the quicker material. Crayons might take you a little bit of time, so I recommend watercolors or markers, but crayons will always do as well. As I said earlier, we are taking inspiration from the last piece of art that we looked at by Alma Woodsey Thomas. So I wanted to show you my finished product. I ended up using watercolor paints to create this, and it looks pretty cool. So if you zoom way in, you see all these lines that are rotating around the center circle. And if you look at their characteristics, they are really close together following the center, but you see spaces in between each layer of the paper showing through. So I did this one with watercolor. You can use watercolor if you want, but I tried marker. Marker works pretty well too, so here's my marker. And crayon will also work, but I can see it taking a little bit longer. So you really have to focus on these little lines close together, okay? I recommend you taking your time because you'll end up with the best product. And I will show you how to do. Okay, so I have my paper, it's ready to go. I, again, am using watercolor, so I have all my stuff ready. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting with a circle. We're going to find the middle of our paper to be adding our circle, and you're going to see me doing that momentarily. But as I'm mixing my paint, I wanted to talk to you about the color scheme. I chose to go in rainbow order. You do not need to choose to go into rainbow order. In fact, if you want to go cray-cray with what colors you use, go for it. So you don't have to copy me here. All right. In the middle of my paper, I am adding a circle. I have a flat-tipped brush here, so it makes it really easy to add my little straight lines. So if you have a rounded brush, that might be a little bit more challenging. But hey, I believe in you. And if you're using marker, you are making a circle, or a crayon, making that circle, and then you're going to color it in nice and slow, okay? Once I have this circle, I'm going to end up zooming in so you can see how to do the next step. Okay, I'm getting as close to that circle as I can, and I'm making these little dashes that are curving around my circle. They're not super thick. You can go ahead and make them thicker if you really want to. That'll be fine. But I'm leaving space in between each mark that I make. So I'm trying not to get them to touch, okay? So they're kind of floating around the middle, making these little dashes. And I tend to follow a bit of a pattern here. As I am working, I add 2 rows of each color. So I think the first one I actually added 3, and then I went down to 2 for each. So really, guys, if you kind of want to go back and forth with your color tones, you are free to do that. You can follow what I'm doing if you want, or you can wing it. But again, we're adding all these marks nice and neat, close to the center, spaced out. So, once I get all the way and finish my first circle, I get ready for the second circle. The second circle just goes right next to the first one and goes around it and follows. Again, slow, slow, slow. My lines are close to my other ones, going around my first row, slow and steady. And you see that I'm rotating my paper as I go. I think it's the easiest to rotate. Instead of reaching my arm in an awkward position, I have the most support when I work this way. So I'm going to rotate through, and then I'll be ready for my third row. Okay, so now that I have my second row done, I'm ready for my third row. And for this first group of purple, I did 3 rows. Next, I'm going to move back into red and do 2 rows. And then I'm going to go in rainbow order or Roy G. Biv order. So red, orange, yellow, green, and indigo, and violet. Now, I said it earlier, and I mean it. You are allowed to go cray-cray with your colors. You can mix it up. You can do a pattern. Maybe you want to do one row of one color and one row of the next. Go for it. I can't wait to see what you tend to create. What I'm going to do from this point on, though, is this is literally what you are doing until you expand to the edge of your paper. It's literally making these nice, neat lines. So I really recommend that you keep trying to make yourself slow down, because the faster you go, the sloppier it's going to get. So again, slow, 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 slow. But you're trying to make it outwards to the edge of the paper. All right. From this point on, I'm going to fast forward. So if you need to pause at all to see what colors go next, if you're following my order, feel free to pause it. But other than that, you kind of have the gist of it. It's a pretty simple process. Add in your lines. Careful and neat and slow. Okay, so now I'm moving into red. Okay, again, I'm fast forwarding. And I will talk to you when I'm all done. Don't forget to pause it if you need to. Yay! Also, here is some music for you to listen to as we go. If you don't like it, turn off the volume. Yeehaw! almost to the edge. And I'm thinking about what I'm going to do when I get to the edge, because some of the spots will be white still. So I actually chose to cut mine out. So if you get as far as you think you can go, feel free to cut it out if you want to. But I'm adding the last bits of purple, and then I'm going to start cutting it out. Now that I'm all set and done, almost done, I mean, you still see me working here fast. I would like you guys to make sure you take some pictures and you post them so that I can take a look at them. And I can't wait to see what you made. Yay!